that's also a price point that has actually taken a little bit of a settling back, and I've seen a values go down. I think the reason that the median sale price is still staying up there is any single family home under 450, under 500 is still moving very aggressively. And I think that's kind of carrying the rest of the market. But there are pocket price points and styles that have gotten hurt.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. This is a show put on by the Minnesota Real Estate Team. We are a local team here in the Twin Cities, in Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. We help people buy homes, sell homes, invest in real estate. Scott, the other update before our first break is mortgage-wise. Mortgage rates with, again, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans. Mortgage rates are in the low to mid sevens. And so rates have really stayed steady, have actually increased a little bit. And that's part of the pause that's been happening with a lot of buyers is they're looking at, hey, what's our monthly nut on this payment? And again, rents, as we chatted about a little bit last week, rents have actually started to come down a little bit because of the increased supply, Scott.
Yeah, it is. And, so people, of course, the question that people are going to ask is, should I wait to buy in this market? And the answer is definitely not. You got to understand when you're buying a mortgage or you're buying a house, you're buying basically an essence of time, 30 years, what happens in the 30 years, a lot of changes do. So right now with interest rates being at, 7, let's call them 7.5, you're buying into a price point that is going to be a little bit depressed. So, if let's say you're buying a 650 house right now, and yes, you're at 7.5%. If rates drop into the 4, that 650 house that you just bought isn't 650 anymore. It's 7.25. It's 7.5. And so, yeah, you're at a 4.5% rate, but you're paying, $50,000 to $100,000 more for that same house versus you purchase it right now at 650, and maybe you are at a 7% rate or high sixes, and then you refinance it in a year. So what is your actual gap of what you're actually losing? It's not that $100,000 that you're having to pay. It's maybe it costs you $5,000 to carry that mortgage until you refinance it.
Yeah, if you are a buyer, seller, investor, homeowner, you have questions at any point, reach out to us here at the WCCO Talk and Text line, or again, it's 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us during the show and during the week by phone or text. Scott, each week we do like to feature some listings by the Minnesota Real Estate Team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. The first one, Jennifer Tischletter, has got a great one at 13407 Big Sandy Lake Drive in Rogers. It's listed for $635,000, and it's a 4-bed, 4-bath. It's a 4-car heated garage with running water and a nice workshop. It's got a huge chef's kitchen, the home does, with a breakfast bar, beverage station with wine and separate beverage fridge. They got maple hardwood floors, fresh paint and carpet, a finished basement with heated tile floors. And it's a great lot with a fire pit, a private pond for winter fun, nature trails, and views of Crowley Lake. Very nice one up in Rogers. $635,000. That's 13407 Big Sandy Lake. And then the other one before the break, Scott, this property is actually Jen Tischletter too, and this one's in St. Paul. It's for $510,000, 2311 Commonwealth Avenue, and there was a recent price improvement to the $510,000. 4-bed, 2-bath, built in 1916. It's a 2-story. It's got tons of character. Jen says you can drink the coffee on the cute front porch, hardwood floors, built-in stained glass, and it's a really nice corner lot overlooking Commonwealth Parkway in the prestigious St. Anthony Park neighborhood. So a couple good listings to check out. Each week, we like to feature some of those listings. We know people listening are all over Minnesota and Western Wisconsin, and we like to feature and highlight some of those. At any point, reach out to us during the show. We welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. This is News Talk 830 WCCO. Thanks for joining us. Sorry a little bit about the sound issue. For whatever reason, we were having a little sound camera issue just for a bit. But good morning, Steve Groen in studio with us. Wonderful guy, owner of Standard Water. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Good to be here. Always good to be here.
Yeah, you got any deep thoughts for us here today?
I don't have any Jack Handy thoughts. I still wonder how the turtle got on top of that fence post.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, it didn't get there by itself.
That's true. That's true, right,
I
Scott?
have no idea what you're talking about.
Scott likes that when I tell him to keep moving to the right so we can see him in the camera.
Well, I keep catching myself.
Yeah, I know.
I am a left drifter.
You are a left
I'm a left-
driver.
I'm a left
I'm like, dude,
drifter.
people need to see you. Hey, we like having a little fun. We appreciate all the nice comments here. Stephen, Pete, Bill, good morning, everyone. Sometimes we can't see your name because we use it's called Restream. And I think you have to have the app or the program on your phone or device for us to see your name. So if we don't ever call out your name, it's not intentional. But Steve, you do a lot of radon stuff going on with Standard Water. You're our radon partner. How's the radon business? Market's down. Are you guys seeing that too? Obviously, probably.
In some ways, the leads are down. Our overall sales are probably double from last year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, part of it is, we know what we're doing, and
Double?
yeah. This is
Wow.
great. Yeah. Well, it's like anything. You got to focus on it. Try hard. You have to take care of customers. You got to get those Google reviews. Have to connect with all the realtors. But yeah, the leads, we can see that slowing down
Yeah.
part, but the home sales are down, right? They're
Mhm.
down about 25% or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depending on who you believe, 25 to 30%.
You did a triathlon on Sunday.
I did. It's a mini tri, not to be confused with the one there's like a marathon involved. It's not that one.
The mini tri?
Yeah, Square Lake. I've done it a bunch of times. It's a 1/2 mile swim, 18-mile bike, 3-mile run, and it's kind of funny. I understand around and they are announcing winners. Going through the game,
You're a winner, Steve.
and they say third place, Steve Groen, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. There are only 5 people in my age group, but I did get third place, and I have like a gravel bike.
That's admirable, Steve.
I don't have like a tri bike. I don't have a Speedo. I just get through it.
Yeah.
It's not like fancy.
You
But
got
I
third place, though, dude.
That's the important bragging point. Is third place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but technically
Yeah,
speaking,
that's
it was out of 5, and I won't tell you what the other 2 were.
Yeah, that stuff's a real workout. I don't do that.
Triathlon. We
But
did.
you do lift a few weights.
Yeah, but it's all vanity. It's 100% complete vanity. You know, I was just saying when you were talking about the phone. So I just had to get a new phone because I lost my phone. Long story, I found it, but I got a new phone.
Okay.
So when I go in to get the phone, the guy at the counter is like, "Oh, not a problem." He said, "Just take it home, plug it in, follow the prompts."
Okay.
So I get home and 2 hours later, I'm pulling my hair out. So I go back.
Oh, no,
the
trying to
next
figure it out.
Yes, go back in the next day. I said, I can't get this thing working. An hour and a half later, this guy is hitting prompts, opening this, going into settings. I'm like, dude, why would you send me home? There's no way in the world
Yeah, to
I would
figure it
get
out.
through all that stuff. It took you an hour and a half opening stuff I didn't even know was on the phone.
Yeah,
what's it called when you want to inflict pain on someone else? Is that the sadist or the
Right.
masochist?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Hey, we're getting ready to go back live. Again, this is our first Saturday back at 10 a.m. on News Talk 830 WCCO. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to dive in to topic as well. A lot to talk about with our market. Appreciate you joining us here on social media, whatever your favorite platform may be. Again, every Saturday, we're going to be here from 10 o'clock to 11. Here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show on News Talk 830 WCCO. We are at the 10 o'clock slot, and this will be our new slot moving forward. We're a local show, a real estate show here, and we welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. Know that the Saturday morning lineup is a great one with the Garden Show, Lindus Construction. We're excited to be here at 10 a.m., welcoming all your questions, comments, thoughts about anything real estate related. And we did have a text message question come in from Kim. Kim just saying, I would think, guys, are you seeing less properties contingent on home inspection, or are you seeing more properties contingent on home inspection with the market, Scott?
Well, let's take it year over year. Compared to last year, we're seeing way more home inspections.
More home inspections.
Yeah, because you got to remember the first 5 months of last year when rates were at 2.5% or 2.6%. you'd have 15, 20, 25 offers on every listing that you put on because people were buying the home interest rate versus the value of the property. And so at that point, we weren't writing any inspections. Now this year, I'm seeing it has to be up at 80%, I would think, 80, 90% now on home inspections.
It's not quite that high.
Isn't it?
It's not quite that high, but there are the short answer, like Scott said, there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Yep, there are a lot more in this market. What that means as a buyer is when you're buying a home, you can have a home inspector come in to review the property to determine are there things that need to be fixed? Are there significant issues? Steve Stalock with Win Home Inspection was on last week. He did a really nice job as well talking about home inspections. But yeah, it's an important step in the process. The market is settling a little bit. I want to welcome on to our discussion here as we're kind of chit-chatting our friend, Mr. Steve Groen. Steve is the owner of Standard Water. And each week on our show, we bring on one of our partners from mnrealestateshow.com. These are local trusted professionals that have helped our team and most importantly, our clients over the last 20 years. So they aren't just random people we found out on the street that want to be part of the show. They are very good, trusted folks who provide a great service. So happy to have you on today, Steve. You're a good man and you run a great company. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it. Yes, our business is radon mitigation, egress windows, basement waterproofing, and foundation.
1 second here, Steve. We got no sound for you. We'll get you connected here in a second. But Steve, essentially, Scott, as we're looking at it, let's pass Scott. Let's pass his mic over here to you, Scott. Steve, what's interesting though is again, tell folks again a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Steve Groen, Standard Water Control Systems. We've been a partner here going on a couple of years, and we do radon mitigation, egress windows, basement waterproofing, and foundation repair. We install thousands of systems each year, thousands of sump pumps, and just glad to be a partner. And can I brag about you for a moment, Ryan?
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, couple things. You've got several hundred agents that work for you, right? You're not amateur hour.
There are a couple hundred, yes.
And I'm just doing the math. You've done like about 1,000 of these shows, correct?
We have done quite a few with Mr. Scott as well. Yeah, it is probably 1,000.
You were not. I mean, you were new listeners or whatever. You guys are truly pro. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Steve. You're too kind.
We're glad to have you here.
Yeah, you're too kind. It is interesting though, Scott, when we look at again doing radon and more inspections. As Steve was talking a little bit between the break, you've seen your business is up twice, 2 times, if you can believe that. 2 times. Can you believe that? Yeah, we still got.
Doesn't seem to be working.
That's okay. We got no mic there. That's all right. Yeah, Steve, your business is up.
Yeah, our radon business is up double, and in part because of just the referrals from different home inspectors, home sales, and whatnot. We do good work. So if someone goes online, they can read about our reviews. We have maybe 600 Google reviews, 4.9 rating, and I'm mildly obsessed, if there is such a thing. I don't want to say I'm obsessed. That sounds kind of weird. But so I'll just say I'm mildly obsessed with customer service and satisfaction because we need repeat and referral business. And quite frankly, 90% of our business is repeat and referral.
Yeah, it is. It's a great company, Standard Water. They've worked with our team, the Minnesota real estate team, for quite some time. A number of our agents, Steve McDonald. I know you do a lot with Steve and his whole crew.
Yeah, Steve's an interesting guy. He's a general contractor himself, so we've done a lot of subcontracted work for him. Drain tile. If someone's looking to sell their home or remodel, the first thing they need to do is make sure the basement is vapor barriered or make sure it's waterproof. And so we get a phone call and take care of that. So this time of the year, people looking at remodeling, we get those calls all the time. The other, we're getting phone calls too because it's been so dry. And just like you've had a 3-year reduction in inventory, we've had a 3-year reduction in rain. But the dryness causes those foundations, the walls, to actually crack more. So we get calls for foundation repair all the time. We have solutions that aren't as expensive as you might think. Really good work, lifetime warranty. So if you have that sort of situation, I've got 5 guys who go out project managers, and their average tenure is 20 years. So
Yeah.
it's like you. I'd like to. Can I say we're all pro professional? Can I do that?
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Absolutely. A great crew, great folks. Again, you're welcome to join the discussion at any point through the talk and text line or 612-294-6949. Did have another question that came in. This one is from Tamara. Guys, my home is on the market and it has been slow. Help me. Help me. What do you think there, Scott? Any thoughts on that one?
Well, welcome to the market. That is unfortunately, Tamara. There has been like I said, there has been a shift over the last, a palatable shift over the last 60, 90 days, where if you are aggressive in price or if you are outside of a price search criteria, what I mean by that is if you're listed at 425 instead of 400, your activity level is going to be way less. If you're listed at 309 instead of 300, so be careful of that. Make sure you're hitting the bulk of the people that are going to be looking, and that you're not clipping up to a next search criteria that
305.
Yeah, is just death. I mean, it makes no sense.
So versus 300.
Versus 300. 405 or 427. I mean, every time you're going outside of a search criteria, you are losing percentages of buyers. Now, the higher you go up in price, the less the percentage of buyers go. But nonetheless, like the difference between 300 and 300,000 and a buck, I think is 38% of the buyers don't see it.
To her question, she says, help. One comment I would say is generally, again, glad you are, glad you're working with a top agent. We're friends with all.
Well, maybe she's not. Maybe that's why her house is. Maybe that's why her house isn't.
Well, the one thing, and it's hard as a homeowner. You think your home is always the nicest. We have the finest in the neighborhood. We do not need a price reduction, but your agent should be giving you some really good data to review on comparable homes and on pricing. And the rule of thumb in real estate, Scott, over the last 20 years, if a home is not selling, it is always price related. There's always different responses. Well, no, because I've got this.
Yeah.
But and it's hard.
It is.
Believe being a home seller personally, I know that that's hard, but you need an agent that's going to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It is very hard, and I am not somebody that reduces a lot of properties. There are agents out there that make a living out of overpricing properties and reducing it. I'm not one of them. So I'm always right at the number that we need to be. With that said, in the last 6 months, I've reduced 2 properties, and and it's because when you're looking at the market and you're looking at, if you go 90 days back, well, there's a comparable that's the same, and it's not holding the same. It's not holding the same kind of water. So, for example, I'll just use it. It's a listing I've got currently, but we were listed at 475. My number really was 450. We went 475. We got 4 showings, no interest. The numbers are the same for 2 weeks. Nothing's changed. Same amount of buyers, same amount of searches, same amount of everything. Those people I've already looked at it. They're not going to show it. So the only way to get any butts in the chair is to get to that new search criteria, which would be 450.
Yeah. Again, before the break here, I know Steve's got some great commentary as well. I just want to hit on 2 other listings before the break with the Minnesota real estate team. Hun has a great listing in Columbia Heights. He's an outstanding agent. 3rd Street Northeast, 155,000. Scott, it is a condo, 1 bed, 1 bath, 1 attached garage condo. And it's got 1 level living, a new water heater in 2020, and a central AC and heat. Check that one out, 4100 3rd Street Northeast in Columbia Heights for 155,000. And the other one before the break is Al Mays, wonderful guy, great longtime builder. He's got one down, Scott, in your neck of the woods in Credit River, 9690 Towering Oaks Curve in Credit River, listed for $1.599 million. And it's a beautiful private wooded 5.7 acre setting. It's got a 600-foot long driveway to the home. It's just under 6,000 finished square feet, 4 bed, 6 bathrooms. Wow. Property also includes 600 plus square feet, a detached pool, guest house, overlooking the in-ground pool, double-decker 8-car garage. How about that, Scott?
No kidding.
Plus a 1 additional garage stall under the pool in the guest house. And this property is loaded with so many outstanding features. Again, you want to be sure to check that one out. Schedule a showing with Al Mays. That's 9690 Towering Oaks Curve in Credit River for $1.599 million. Great property. Folks, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and we are on News Talk 830 WCCO. Sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I know you were going to say something. We always try to get those listings in.
It's a good question.
Comments, thoughts?
Good question.
Good what?
They can't hear this.
No, we're just live on social media right now. Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to ask it when we go back.
Yeah.
Top secret question.
Top secret question, yeah.
It's gonna really
So
be
we're having
awesome.
fun today on the show. It's been a great show today. And again, every Saturday, we're going to be here from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And lots of good stuff going on. You can feel falls in the air, Scott. The coolness, they said last night I was watching CCO, and they were saying this is a top 10 weather weekend today and tomorrow. It's a top 10, two top 10 days.
Why?
I think just the most desirable days from
72 degrees.
yeah,
no wind,
humidity,
yeah.
sun, no wind. So they said today and tomorrow. So that means you got to get out and do something fun.
You know what you should check out, or maybe you have the Renaissance Festival.
I saw that Hartung went to that. Adam-
Renaissance Festival.
Adam Hartung and his family, they're big into that. They all dressed up. And
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Steve?
I need to get a sword and some leather and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Come
I think
closer
it'd
to
be
me,
fun.
guys.
I
No, people can see you. Then they can see you at home. Yeah, we should take Scott to the Renaissance Festival. You would love that,
It's got
Scott.
something that shows your chest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm a bit-
You got lots of stuff.
Well,
in
yeah,
that closet.
I get a sword and leather just going in my closet. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Contribution. Did have again another question. This one was about closing costs, and essentially we are seeing a lot more closing costs as well. Sellers paying closing costs. That was not common during COVID at all. Now we're seeing it. We're seeing more of that. So, Steve, looking to buy a house, you want the seller to kick in 10 grand towards your closing costs. Much more common. You can include that, generally speaking, part of your offer now. Thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I think for me, the greater concern is the interest rate
Sure.
than closing costs and who's paying that. I don't know where are we talking about? 2 grand, 5 grand, how much?
10 grand to 15 grand.
3%
much?
is about standard of your
Oh,
purchase
yeah, buyer
price.
side closing costs, and it's a little bit of an oxymoron because normally the seller's not paying for it. The seller's having it rolled in. So, for example, I want to give you $300,000 for your house. That's the net to you as a seller. I need my closing costs paid. I need 10 grand because I don't have the cash. I've just got enough for a down payment, but I don't have the closing costs. So I give you $310,000 for your house. You pay $10,000 on my closing costs. Well, I still gave you 300 grand for your house. The numbers are the exact same. So we use the term paying for the buyer's closing costs, but a lot of times it's a function of rolling it into the finance.
Yeah. Again, it's a good point. And it is sometimes obviously you have enough money for the down payment, but you don't have enough money for down payment plus closing costs. So then you finance that into the deal. And again, during the COVID time period, virtually no sellers were even entertaining that. So that's a change. That's a little bit of a market change.
Because they didn't have to.
Yep.
When you had 25 offers on it, you didn't have to worry about. And the only reason, even though the numbers are the same for the seller, because people might be like, well, why would they care? If you use that scenario, 310,000, you pay 10,000 my closing, I still get my 300. People got nervous about an appraisal getting up to the 310. So if the appraisal comes in low, then you have an issue with it. So if you got 15 offers and 8 of them are cash, you just go with one of those offers.
Yeah, again, we're going to be going back live on air, and we appreciate you joining us each week. We're starting to see more comment too. We had a comment about open houses. You're starting to see a lot more open houses, a lot more reverse prospecting by people. So just by and large, we're seeing more, a little bit of a softening in the market across the board. We're getting ready to go back live on air. Appreciate you joining us Saturday mornings. Sorry for a couple little technical glitches, but thanks for joining us. Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend's going well. It is the 16th of September, a little after 10:30-ish, and we are here now every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Local show here, local real estate team, the Minnesota Real Estate Team. We're a group of agents. We help you buy, sell, invest in real estate. You can text us or call us during the show at 612-294-6949. Or that comes to us throughout the week. You can use that number as well. If you are looking for a market analysis, we wanted to create an easy way for you to reach out to us. You can just text WCCO to that 612-294-6949. Again, you can text just WCCO, 612-294-6949. You're looking for a market analysis on your property. Maybe you're thinking of selling. Maybe you're just curious about your home value. This is a service that we provide. There's no cost. There's no strings attached. You don't even have to meet with an agent if you prefer not to. But again, if you're interested in that market analysis, we're happy to do that as a service to all the good listeners of WCCO. Steve, you had a good comment here before the break, before I interrupted you there, young man.
Well, all right. It's a question for you guys. I would like to know if the current home prices reflect interest rates, or what that relationship is, or how much, say, home prices lag as interest rates go up. Or I just want to learn more about your thoughts about that relationship. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scott, you have any initial thoughts? So the question about interest rates affecting pricing.
Yeah, I mean, I did a show right when the market switched the middle of last year, where I took a 1986 split level at the first 3 months of 2022, and in Lakeville, so 1980, I think, to 1995, and the average split level home sale price was $434. And then when 4 months later, when rates went from 2.6% to 7.5%, the average split level was $365. So
Wow.
so that's the difference, at least in that small sample of the difference. Because think about it, you're buying a home at $434. You're not really concerned about the house price, because you want that 2.5% rate, because it keeps your payment down. And that's why we made the argument for so many months after that. Were you better off buying at 7.5% at 365,000, or 434,000 at 2.5%? Well, of course, the 365, because you're actually buying value of the property. In the other scenario, you go out 3 years, you could be upside down in that property because of what you paid for it.
Yeah, and again, perhaps I'm a little more sunshine. Not that Scott is, Scott brings some good perspective here to it. Just talking to a lot of agents, again, 450 and under, Steve, there's still strong demand within the Twin Cities area, within probably an hour around the Twin Cities, as long as the property is priced correctly. So even with interest rates at 7.5, if you are a $400,000 house that is priced correctly, there's no difference with the 7.5% versus the 3.75. And so prices are not rising as much as they were. And that's when we go to that median sales price. We look at it was $375 last year. It's $375 this year too. Where we're seeing a lot of the price reductions are in the more expensive stuff, or stuff that's frankly just overpriced. And so that's part of it, is people were pushing, hey, my neighbor got 15 offers. I want 15 offers. So they list it 50 grand high. Well, now it sits on the market for 30 days. And yeah, they should have listed it 50 grand lower to begin with. So there's still so many buyers out there because rents are expensive. So yeah, I don't know. I still see activity and things happening, with our team, but it's a different market, like Scott says.
Yeah, it is.
It seems to me, I'm the layman, right? Just watching as everything's unfolding. But if a home's valued, then really should be going, all things considered, for 400, and you list it for 390, you're going to have all sorts of people offering more than that anyway. You've seen this, the bidding war. I don't think anything would be different that way. You go in at 420, then you're going to have the other problem.
Correct.
So in the end, I think people are hung up on fear of loss, and the fear of loss should be having the price too high, not the other way.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a really good point, and it's hard. It is something hard sometimes for people to understand. With that from a pricing standpoint, it's like anything. You want to try to get the most money possible. Had a text come in, and again, you're always welcome to join us. This one came from Franklin. Franklin just said, I have been a long-time homeowner, long-time WCCO listener, wondering if you guys have any tips on when I should consider downsizing.
That's a good question. I mean, a lot of it has to do with, where you live. I mean, do you live in Edina? Do you live in Wayzata? Do you live in, Columbia Heights? I mean, it just depends on where you're at. But traditionally, the maximum that you're going to get for your house, if you're not buying in a market, so if you're just downsizing and maybe you're moving to Florida or whatever, typically, the third week in February through June, are the hottest months. You've got more homes that you're competing against, but there's more buyers out there, and that's traditionally the hottest time. But in a market like this where there's only 8,000 homes, I mean, I hate to say it doesn't matter, but in some ways it really doesn't matter. I mean, last year, the first 4 months of last year was the best sellers market we've ever had on the history of the planet. Right now we're in number 2. So, I mean, it's still an incredibly fast selling market. When we start to talk about, oh my God, days on market are all the way up to 30 days. I mean, my God, we used to deal with 4 or 5 months on market. So 30 days on market is still very little time.
Yeah, again, I had a question about mortgage rates for interest or investment properties. Generally speaking, again, if you're looking at low 7s, mid 7s for regular or what they call owner occupied properties, for investment property, you're at least a half point, maybe even a full point higher than that. That affects cash flow. So from an investor standpoint, are investors buying as much? Are they able to cash flow as much? That affects some of that buyer demand. We've seen, Scott and Steve, a lot of the less national buyers that have stepped back, a lot of the big companies that are coming in and buying properties. And by the way, if one of those reaches out to you, know that they are trying to make money off of you.
That's right.
That's the key. They're not in it to just be good people.
No.
We want to buy your home.
So yeah,
Scott, I want to buy it. I want to just guarantee it and buy it because I really love buying real estate.
Well, and I just don't want you to have any hassles, not have to have any open houses, not have to leave and go out to lunch. That's what I want to do. And because of that, you're going to get $50,000 less than your home's worth. That's the end reality of this.
Yeah.
That's the reality. I think we ran numbers on it years ago, and it was somewhere between that 25 to 35% below value rate is where they're all coming in at.
Yeah. So it is a way to get the phone to ring to say, hey, come on out. Yeah, we love that. Give me a big check.
Yes.
Well, then after they look at it and they do a little inspection and a little analysis, and then the numbers change, Steve. Then the pencil comes out and you drop a couple zeros and it gets interesting.
I have another question.
Yeah.
That's another question here. Curious, they changed some rules here a few years ago for like second mortgages. So the tax rate was less. So there's maybe more homes that are being rented. Is that affecting the inventory at all? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if it is a lot. There are, oftentimes with cabins, with properties that are not an investment property, that are more personal use. Haven't seen a lot of change with that specifically. Obviously, if it's an investment property, you still can, you still have tax benefits. You can deduct the interest, the mortgage, insurance. So haven't seen as much with that. Scott, do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Not to where it's glaring.
Yeah. Yeah. Before the break, again, just wanted to hit on Sue Marty's got a great one, Scott, in Minnetonka, 4210 Queens Way, listed for $449, and it is a Minnetonka home in a great family-friendly neighborhood, 4-bed, 2-bath, hardwood floors on the main level. It's got a great formal dining, landscaped yard with a beautiful paver patio. And the current owners have lived there for 48 years. Come check that one out, 4210 Queensway in Minnetonka. Be sure to check that property out. And then one other one in Hammond, Wisconsin, 1006 167th Street, listed for $589,900. Sue Marty has this one. It is a 3-bed, 2-bath, and it's got a ton of great updates: cherry cabinets, quartz countertops, hickory floors, and the primary bedroom, ensuite, and another full bathroom on the lower level. It's almost 2 acres of serenity garden areas. Be sure to check that one out. Great photos online, 1006 167th Street in Hammond, Wisconsin. The final break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. This is WCCO. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Best way, again, people looking to connect with you. We got a lot of fellow agents that listen and watch the show. You work with a lot of the different companies in the Twin Cities.
I do. I talk to realtors literally every day. So I help transactions happen, right? I know what people are trying to get done. But best way to get a hold of me is LinkedIn. Steve Groen, you can look me up that way. You just mentioned Sue Marty. Just send her a LinkedIn message. But service at Standard Wire, just go to our website, call us, and I'm in the office and certainly can take your call. So
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Scott, what do you think looking forward here now? We're heading into the fall season, into the winter. Thoughts on things?
Oh, I mean, if you'd have asked me 30 days ago, I would have said we were going to have a really, 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 really good end of the year. When we had that interest rate hike again, it's kind of taken the steam out of it a little bit. So I think the next couple weeks are going to tell a lot. Moving into to the end. For buyers out there, if you're just buying and you don't have anything to sell, the next 3 months are your best months: October, November, December. Doesn't get any better than that to buy. Then we'll see. And I think that we're going to see interest rates. I disagree a little bit with Mike Overson. I think the closer that the election comes, the lower interest rates are going to go down. I don't see a sitting president being able to make a run with rates at 7.5%. So magically, how that will probably occur is I think we're probably going to see rates trickle down as we get closer to the election, just because it'll make it more palatable.
Yeah, and again, we know there's a lot of home owners out there that have great interest rates that bought in the last few years that don't want to move. But I think as time goes on and families expand and life changes, people are going to need to move. And so, yeah, we've been in this time period where it's been so recent where people haven't needed to move, but life happens, changes will happen, people need to move. That will help our inventory. We will start to get more inventory, and that will frankly help the buyers out there. I know it's super frustrating for buyers trying to find properties, and of course the agents. It's just way competitive, Steve.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, and they've hit the point where the buyers have hit the point where they're willing to reach.
Sure.
They had that run where, hey, it was so competitive, rates were so low, and so they didn't really matter what they were paying for the house. They just wanted to get a house. We've run our course there. People are taking their time now. They've figured out alternative places to live. They're living with their folks, and they are looking at values more than they were, especially more than they were a year ago. And I think that's going to continue.
Yeah. Again, 10 a.m. is when we're going to be here each week. Steve Groen is a longtime partner with us with Standard Water. Great company, fellow agents. If you're looking for radon, trusted radon partner, just in general, basements can be problematic, and you need a good partner, a trusted partner. You've helped the team, the agents so many times. You guys are kind of Johnny on the spot to get out there and help.
I have a lot of good stories. People are in fixes, sump pumps, swap those out, done those on the weekend, Friday nights, whatever.
We're going to start calling you on Friday night, Steve. Evenings.
Come out and do my sump pump.
What do you think?
We should just go hang out.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Show goes by so quick. We're already in our final break here. If you ever have thoughts, tips, what you'd like to hear about a certain topic, we try our best to hit a variety of different things, get to questions, callers, that type of thing as well. And so as we head to the final break, we just appreciate you listening to us here again. 10 a.m. is how we're going to be here now, Saturdays. WCCO, here we go. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's the final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate you joining us. Hope your weekend's going well. Scott, before we kind of wrap up the discussion, just had two last listings. Mr. Kieran Houlihan, great guy up in the north end with the Minnesota Real Estate Team. RE/MAX Advantage Plus has one in Andover For $359.9, it's 2468 133rd Lane in Andover, and it was built in 1989. It's a 4-level split, 3-bed, 2-bath, ton of upgrades throughout, including a wall softener, new windows, and sliding door. And then there's easy access to Highway 10 in the Andover location. It's got open houses today, Saturday, 3:30 to 5, and tomorrow, Sunday, 3:30 to 5. Check that one out, 2468 133rd. And one last one, Scott, this one, Jan Rolfe has got this. This is an interesting property because it's up in Pine City. It's 10035 Pokegama Lake Road in Pine City for $120,000. So listen to this. It's a multifamily building to be renovated, and it's a rare historic brick Santorium now for sale. It's just under an acre, and it has lake views, and it's across from the Snake River. It's a great location, very centrally located, of course. And Jan says, come with your ideas for renovation on this unique building, whether it be senior living, multifamily, family units. It's currently zoned for high density residential. And the last thing, it's got views of the ever popular Pokegama Lake. The building is open slate for multifamily. It's known by the town, this is interesting, to be haunted. It's known by the town to be haunted. Cool one. You got to check this out. 10035 Pokegama Lake Road in Pine City. Jan sent that this week. It is not known.
Does that make the price go up or down?
Well, I don't know, Scott. You may get a lot of people driving up to Pine City to see this one for $120,000.
Well, it depends on who's haunting it. Is Marilyn Monroe haunting it, or is it
Manson?
Right.
Yeah, it depends on who's in there.
Yeah, fun one.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool property.
Fun one. Again, we like to have some fun here on the Minnesota Real Estate Show. And as you listen to the show, if you like a topic, you'd like us to hit something specific, reach out to us by phone or text at any point. Steve Grown, best way for people to connect with you. I know the show went by quick here today, but you do a wonderful job. Radon, basements, waterproofing. You're a trusted partner. We're grateful for you. Best way for people to connect.
Sure. You want to find me on a personal level, LinkedIn, Steve Grown, Grohn, Rough Childhood. That's my real name, Steve Grown.
Steve Grown.
And, yes. Or at our company, just go to our website, service at Standard Wire. We only have a couple people that answer the phone. I take calls all the time, but really easy. And we do give free estimates and consultations with our project managers for radon, egress windows, and basement waterproofing foundation repair.
Yeah, nice work as always. We're grateful for Steve. Scott, good work, buddy. Last thoughts?
No, just nothing. Just like I said, if you're buying the next 3 months are your time to buy. It's going to be the best time out there to get the best deals. And if you are not selling anything and you just got a house to buy, you definitely want to get plugged in. If you've not met with a loan officer yet, apply with Mike.com. Mike Overson's the best in the business. He'll help you out that way. And just really appreciate you listening to the show.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out for our friends at Luminate. And Luminate Bank is a local bank. They are a trusted partner on our show. They've got some great programs out there. I've seen on their website over 4% interest they're paying on their savings accounts. So just a really good local bank, trusted partners. Mike Overson and his team really do a nice job. I encourage you to go apply with Mike.com. It's been a fun show today. Scott, great job today. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, everybody, it's no Vikings tomorrow, but still a lot of football. So yeah, get out. Although it's going to be what you said, the top 210 or top 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, get out there and enjoy it.
Great weather days. Big thanks to our friend Dennis, who comes in every Saturday to produce our show. A good man, a kind fellow to help us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show throughout the week. mnrealestateshow.com or 612-294-6949. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, plug in with the #1 RE/MAX team in the state of Minnesota. We're here to help you. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the day and the great weather. Take care. Thank you. Thanks for joining us on social media. Sorry, the little bit of sound issue, a little bit of technical issue always keeps us on our toes. Steve, nice job. I keep pulling you towards me. Steve's like, would you just stop pulling me this direction? Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I encourage you to reach out to Steve Grown, Standard Water. Scott, great job. Great job, bud.
Yeah, you too. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We'll be back next